Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, today we're going to be checking out a couple of knives from OKNIFE. Now, I got these on the Thanksgiving Day sale, a couple weeks ago now, maybe-ish. And I kind of wanted to do these together because they're both named the Sentry. You've got the Sentry L1 and the Sentry L2. Now, both of these knives right now are currently on sale in their Christmas sale. And we'll go over that here in a little bit, but I definitely wanted to throw that out that even though I got them last month, they are still part of the Christmas sale. So if you want to check that out, I'll tell you how you can here in a little bit. Now, some similarities between these knives. They're both titanium coated D2 blades. They've both got this kind of, they call it matrix textured blade. There you go. Matrix textured G10. So obviously they're both blacked out. Both, they're obviously major difference is the size. So just some similarities that I wanted to kind of touch about. We'll go ahead and talk about both. Now, but with the D2 knives, you don't get the cool coins with the D2 knives. But what they are doing is they're putting these cool patches in there. And these are pretty awesome, the Sentry L1, Sentry L2. So I don't know if they're in every knife they're doing, the D2 knives they're doing. Every of the 154 cm knives, you get a coin, which is kind of a cool little extra. And these patches, they started doing the patches with the D2 knives. And I think that's pretty cool too. So just something a little extra, Not that maybe you're necessarily going to buy a knife just for a patch. I mean, you might. And if you do, good on you. It's your ball. Play with it however you want to, right? Absolutely. So we're going to start off with the L1 because, well, it's the L1. This is a pretty beefy knife, as you can obviously tell. Now, like I said, you've got that matrix textured G10. That's how they refer to it. And it does provide a really pretty darn good grip. Now, you do have a deep carry clip on that. Now, this one is not reversible. This is going to be right hand tip up only. You definitely got a lanyard hole going on there. Everything is chamfered off very well. I mean, these knives are still Kaiser built as far as I know. So as far as the fit and finish on them, usually not too worried about that. Blades pretty well centered. This is obviously a flipper knife right here. And like I said, it's a behemoth. Now, we're going to flip that blade. Wow! I better zoom out to get this whole thing on camera. Look at, goodness gracious. That is a honking big, what does that look like to you guys? To me, it looks like some sort of dinosaur. A dinosaur head. It's just kind of cool, you've got you got the spines or whatever back here. Now, you do have a ramp. It's got some jimping, the spines I'm talking about. Definitely, that feels really good in hand, and you do have a pretty generous finger choil that you can get up on. As you can see there, I am off the blade by a decent amount. Now, you do have the big hole in the blade. Good Lord, you got to watch out for that blade. Well, you can reverse flick it. I can't get a real solid flick on it. Now, you notice I'm having issue getting it past the detent ball because as you can see, that kind of comes down and hits my thumb. The flipper tab does, and it doesn't quite let it get past the detent ball. See, I mean, now if I get it past the detent ball, it slams shut. It gets your fingers out of the way. That's all I can see. Now, as you can see there, you do have some kind of finger grooves cut into the texturing on it. Like I said, D2 titanium coated. This is more of a black wash to me, but say they're both, I guess it's a titanium black wash, which I kind of like the look of that for sure. But let's see what the specs are on this behemoth. Can I get it all on screen? Okay, there we go. It's got some size to it. So overall, you're looking at about a 9.5-inch knife, maybe just a bit shy of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. I got my squares counted out right. Just shy of 9.5. About a, what, 5.5-inch handle, which is going to bring you down to pretty much a 4-inch blade. Cutting edge is going to be about 3.5 on that. And grip length, which I don't have to worry about on this one. I mean, you're talking 4 inches of grip length on this one. I have plenty of room left over. So those of you with a little bit larger hands. Now we're going to talk about a couple of things on this knife. But, oh, let's do our size comparison. Can't forget that. Gotta throw that out there. So there's your PM2. And it's barely on the screen. I don't want to zoom out any more than that because then it starts to get funky on me. But obviously, a much bigger knife than the PM2. And, yeah, well, much bigger. Much, much bigger. And, of course, we will get a weight on it. This thing's, it's beefy. It's got some weight to it. Like I said, and there'll be a, I got to let it zero out. Don't do that. All right. Grams. Oh, 245. Yeah. 8.6 ounces. Oh my goodness. Yes, it will weight your pocket a little bit. Absolutely it will. Speaking of the pocket, it's a pocket hog. I consider it a pocket hog. It's just wide. I mean, I personally am not going to carry much more in my pocket if I have that in there. You can definitely do the 5th pocket for sure. But it takes up, I mean, here's this, it definitely takes up at least half the pocket. So, but it is pretty deep carry. You do got a little bit peeking out there. Retention on the clip is decent. It's got a little bit of flex to it, but not too bad. And with this matrix pattern on the G10, it's not too bad. It doesn't grip. I don't really call it a pocket eater. But this one does have a couple of things that I'm not overly crazy about. Nitpicks, whatever you want to call them. For my hand size, as you can see, you got the finger grooves cut in. I could go with the first groove. For my hand size, this point right here is getting me right in the middle of my ring finger. Not the most comfortable. If it wasn't that point, I think it would be much better. Okay, so I have a little bit of a sticking point there. The pocket clip really isn't an issue because it's so far back on the handle for me. Now, for some of you with a little bit larger hands that may be back here on the clip, that could be an issue. I'm not going to say it will be, but it could be, possibly. Again, choking up. This is a little bit better for me. My pinky's kind of out there in the breeze because the other two fingers do kind of land in a finger groove. Again, my pinky is kind of right on that point. So again, that's not too bad. But just that's just kind of how I land on it. Another kind of nitpick is that, you know, you just got to get it past a deep temp ball. Yeah, it's a nitpick. It really is. The other big thing is this blade is so heavy. I mean, you can shake it out. I know let's see if I can adjust the camera a little bit for you. I mean, it's pretty easy to shake out. So, I mean, it's just a big beefy blade. That's a big chunk of D2, and it is. It's just easy. So if you guys are into bigger knives, might be one for you. For me, probably not one that would end up in my collection, just due to the overall size. The weight is another one. I definitely usually don't like to carry something that big like this or the Mayhem, you know, in my pocket. Just not for me. I'd definitely like to. And the L2, we're going to take a look at here in a second. That's definitely more my speed. So overall, you know, we pointed out some things on it. Maybe a thing for you. Might not. But this one, I am definitely liking a little bit more. Oh, the other thing I forgot to point out on this one. The access to the liner lock is a little bit better because you do have that groove cut there. But it's still not the best. It's kind of tucked down in there. You do have a little bit of milling on it. I mean, it's not bad. I don't have to dig my finger in there or anything. But just overall, maybe it could be a little bit better. This guy, overall, I am digging it a little bit better, obviously, because of size. We talked about the similarities between the L1 and the L2. Now this one, you've got, again, a stainless clip, but this one is reversible. I do like that. But lanyard fans, we don't have a lanyard hole on this one. Now, can we get a lanyard on that back post? Yeah, I think you could if you really wanted to. I don't think you'd have much issue with it. So you could definitely get a lanyard on this one. You just don't have a dedicated spot for it necessarily. So, deep carry clip, G10. Now, the other thing about this one, again, it's the fit and finish is pretty well done. Centering, yeah, it's pretty well centered. Flipper tab, definitely a little bit different blade there. No issue with the detent ball really on this one. Shake it down. Now, we do have these kind of stiletto guards. It's kind of how I refer to them. And this one, you can actually almost thumb stud it with that one. I mean, you can definitely thumb flick it off that forward. The one thing I did find, I've kind of practiced with it a little bit, getting used to the knife and everything, is, you know, I gotta get my index finger out of the way, or the flipper tab is gonna catch my index finger. So I just gotta make sure it's back there enough. I can get a good enough purchase on it. The detent, I like the detent on this one. You're not, we'll adjust it for you again real quick. You're not, no, I'm not shaking this one open. Detent is pretty solid on it, which is really nice. Definitely digging that. The blade, interesting blade. You've got partial serrations. Again, for me, not a huge fan. It's kind of like partial circumcision, you know, go all the way or don't do it. But hey, some people like it. Very good. You got a Tanto blade going on here. Again, like I said, titanium coated D2. There you go. Sentry L2. There's your model number. You do have a little bit of a fuller there. I can't get into the fuller to reverse flick it. Somebody might be able to. I cannot. I'm just kind of happy I can actually kind of thumb flip it. I'm happy about that. But overall, like I said, partial serrations, you know, not really my bag. Full serrations really aren't either. That's just personal preference. Again, Tanto blade, not my favorite. Everything has its purpose. People like what they like. Right on. That's the way it should be. Just for me, you know, personal preference, of course. Not everybody likes the same thing, and that's okay. It doesn't seem okay with some of the comments I get, but hey, that's all right too. Now this one, obviously a smaller knife in stature, but this one's still about 7 3/4 inches. You're looking at about 4 3/8 on the handle. Blade is going to be just shy of 3.5. Your cutting edge is going to be a little more shy than that. It's about 3 1/4. Grip length, you're looking 3 3/4. So it's, you know, a little past my sweet spot, but still not bad. As you notice there, you don't have the finger grooves like you do in the L1. But overall, not too bad. Now, we'll give you some size comparisons again. Can't forget about those. So, matches up pretty well with the PM2. PM2 is a little bit larger, maybe about not quite 1/4 inch on the blade, and probably a little bit more than 1/4 inch on the handle, more like 3/8. Then, of course, you've got the bug out again. Going to be right in there. A little bit smaller than the L2 in overall length. Get a weight on this one also. Yeah, this one's definitely more my speed as far as carry goes. This is a really nice weight. Yeah, right at 2.9, 3-ish ounces. Definitely. That's really 81 grams. I love carrying knives like that. Again, pocket clip, pretty good. Goes in there pretty well. It got a little bit more, maybe peeking out on this one. But overall, not too bad. It's pretty well tucked away. Again, retention is pretty good. It's about the same as the L1. As far as the clip, I mean, it's pretty much the same clip. So overall, I do like this one a little bit more than I do like the L1. Just its size, weight, overall carryability for me, it's definitely more in my ballpark. The clip on this one, not as big of an issue. So not an issue really at all. It hits me pretty good in all, even though it stays parallel, it stays high. It's not too high. I do normally kind of not talk overly positive about these stiletto type guards as I refer to them. Call them whatever you want. But my thumb actually does get out past it. That's usually my kind of sticking point, is my thumb usually lands on it. In my natural, normal grip, my thumb is back. It is getting me back here. I'd just rather it not be there, honestly. But, you know, different folks like different things. Absolutely. And it's not too bad. It's really not too bad. I've definitely said, you know, harsher things about different knives that have those type of guards on each side. Again, blade shape, partial serrations, that's all personal preference. Not necessarily my favorite. Would I like it more if it had, you know, if it was just a straight blade? Absolutely. I would. Full serrations, probably not. But hey, that's all good. Other than that, it is very, very comfortable in hand. You don't have any of those finger grooves that are kind of like hitting me wrong. This is pretty comfortable. I like the way this one is hitting me in my hand pretty much all around. The only other thing I would point out is, again, you do have a little bit of a groove there. I mean, you do have some chamfering going on, but you don't necessarily have finger grooves. Is access to the liner lock. Can I get it? Yes, I can get it without digging my finger in there. Could it be a little bit better? I think it could. Up to you, but it is still kind of tucked in there. So I don't have to dig in for it. I can get it just fine. Not an issue. Could it be better? I believe so. So, but, you know, overall, as I said, I definitely prefer the L2 over the L1 just because of overall size. It's what I like to carry. But I know y'all out there like some of them bigger knives. So there you go. The L1, probably going to be one you might like. If you're into cleaver blades, you know, that's gotta take that into consideration as well. You know, and those of you that like the smaller type EDC knives, the L2 is probably going to be more, given your blade preference and all of that, is probably more one for you. Now, I did mention earlier that these guys are still on sale. They are on sale for the Christmas. Obi's Christmas sale. This is going on right now. You guys can find these over at Obi. The L1, this kind of surprised me a little bit. The L1 is going for $45.99, and the L2 is going for $51.99. Those are your sale prices. Again, as always, I am an affiliate with Obi, so if you want to help the channel out, I do have an affiliate link down in the description. These are already on sale, or else I'd tell you, hey, use my coupon code BR10 over there and save yourself 10%. But hey, if you go check out the sale and you find something that isn't on sale, use that code BR10 and save yourself 10% on it. So definitely appreciate you guys stopping by, checking everything out. Oh my goodness, this is almost 20 minutes. Well, it's 2 knives, and I usually right around 10 minutes a knife, so there we go. So I'll let you get out of here. Thanks a lot, guys, for stopping by today. As always, like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.